we haven't checked in on the election that's coming up in a little while. And I guess like the big thing that's going on this week is like, okay, we've given you on this program a lot of reasons to be, I don't know, to be feeling bad if you are a Democratic partisan about Joe Biden's reelection chances. I mean, like the reasons are obvious, but the Republicans cannot stop banning abortion. And like if you are Joe Biden or a Democratic voter, like this is the silver bullet that you got in the chamber. Arizona just reinstituted a law that goes back to the Civil War banning abortions, and I got to say the National Republican Party's response to this has been really something to behold because they're all like Trump basically said we're going to straighten out the Arizona abortion law, and he says it's for the states. This then okay, well Arizona decided it, and then they said okay, well the Democrats have to repeal this law, and then they tried to, and the state Republicans stopped them, and then another Arizona Republican tried to repeal it, and that was stopped again. So I don't know. What do you make of this total schizophrenia with the Republican Party now, as they back themselves into this corner as it regards to a woman's right to choose, or even like in vitro fertilization, which is now on the chopping block?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like the same thing that we've always seen with like abortion restrictionism. Like there is no coherent position on it. I mean, there is a coherent position, but not one that you can have in electoral politics, right? Like a coherent position is like the people that get sent to prison for 30 years for like bombing a clinic. Not that that's good to do. I don't, but like there's like some consistency in it. Whereas with this stuff, it's like I saw some flack on TV this week, some Republican flack saying that like, well, like it's not a big deal to like drive to another state. And it's like, okay, well, if this was murder, then you wouldn't be like, okay, well, just like take a bus trip to go kill somebody. It's fine. Like
Yeah,
there's just like there's no internal consistency to any of it. And, you end up just making all these contradictory positions and just like sinking in quicksand. I mean, I don't want to call it too soon, but this has all the makings of the 50,000 vote election.
they really are the dog that caught the car with this abortion ban thing because they don't know what to do with it other than ban abortion, which is like killing them.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day because it's like Walter Sobchak in The Big Lebowski, except it's just like, so what you get divorced, you turn in your library card, you get a new license, you stop banning abortion. It's like they can't help themselves. And I agree with Felix. I mean, I think this is truly going to be the funniest and stupidest election of all time. I don't think it's going to be the last election of our lifetimes, as people keep telling me, but they've been telling me that for the last 35 years.
People have been hyping me on that good news forever. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm so sick of these fucking elections. Someone please do away with them.
Yeah, I think that every election after 2000 has been fixed. Bush stole in 2004. Obama stole in 2008. I don't agree with any of them.
I think that if they're going to be fixed, it should be more like when you're fixing a pet, which is to say that you never have to deal with it ever again.
Yeah.
There was an amazing article. I forget what publication it was in. It might have been like NBC even or something that was talking about how the Trump organization like the campaign doesn't exist. Like it has no on the ground operatives. It's got no money. And I've been seeing this like incredible degree of liberal triumphalism, like between that and the abortion stuff. He's definitely, it's not going to be as close as people think. And I think it's going to be close, but in some stupider and more geographically unimaginable way than any electoral college has ever been in the past. I can't even figure out exactly what it's going to be, but I think
Rhode Island is in play this year.
Yeah.
It's coming down to Delaware and Rhode Island, and then in that case, Joe Biden's got the inside track.
The Alex Garland election.
Yeah.
I think you're right, and it's like it's all going to be a function of extremely low turnout. Like I don't think it's going to be exactly only 50,000 votes like we've wanted for a while, but it is going to be a very low turnout election, and we'll see some really weird shit.
But yeah, like it's just the Republican schizophrenia over. Yeah, Trump says Arizona's Supreme Court abortion ruling will be quote straightened out, but they don't seem to know how to straighten it out. But I do want to turn briefly to the New York Times and their take on this from yesterday. The headline: Two imperfect messengers take on abortion. They're taking it on. They're 10 paces at dawn for the right to have an abortion. But I just want to read here from it. It says, if you were, it says here, I'm reading a few paragraphs down. It says, if you were going to invent two candidates, the first presidential election since the fall of Roe, neither side of the abortion divide would probably design the exact candidate they have. They are both white men. They are both old, and neither has always said what their respective side of the debate wants to hear. Although Biden's shift on the Hyde Amendment is not as stark a reversal as Trump's flip over the years from pro-choice to pro-life. I just like the idea that like if both sides were designing their candidates, it'd be like, well, obviously the pro-life side wouldn't want an old white man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Republicans would ever choose that as their perfect candidate.
First of all, the fucking New York Times, man. Two imperfect messengers is the most Doris Kearns Goodwin ass headline I have ever heard in my life.
Team of imperfect messengers.
Yeah, that's right.
What would a good messenger look like? Like who is
for the
it?
side that wants to criminalize abortion?
Well, like
seems
for,
like Donald
for
Trump,
any
yeah.
of that, like for any of this, like what?
Maybe a woman? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, on the Republican side, it would be a guy with a sighted long gun at 600 meters, close to an abortion clinic, and
But he's not white.
but
Like a Pacific Islander who's doing that.
he's somebody who lives in one of the Texas border counties and has decided that he also wants to build the wall, and his last name is Melendez. The coming Republican Hispanic anti-abortion coalition, another thing that I've been promised in my lifetime that hasn't quite arrived yet. And I don't know what the Democratic candidate would look like. It would look like Amy Klobuchar tossing Plan B from the back of a float in the Macy's parade. It's really hard to imagine what an ideal Democratic messenger would look like on abortion specifically.
Yeah, you might get Plan B, but you might get a stapler thrown at you. But I don't know. I mean, it seems like Joe Biden keeps saying. He said the other day, "Vote for me because I live in the 20th century." When asked if about the Civil War era law about criminalizing abortion, he was like, "We're bringing women's health care into the 20th century."
Oh God, where's Christopher Moltisanti to set him straight?
But Joe Biden, he must remain loyal to his capo on the abortion issue, because he's personally against it, and I guess that's why he's an imperfect messenger to protect women's rights, is that he personally opposes them. But,
yeah, he's still doing that thing where he's like, before he says anything about abortion, like no matter how much things have changed since like 1993, he's like, I mean, I'm against it. I think that a woman should be exiled from her village if she does it. I think it's gross. I think you should throw out the woman and the dead baby. But these Republicans are out of control. He's still doing the like like it should be rare but safe thing, the hallmark of Democrats during the Bush years. And it's like, we're so not in that moment anymore.
Well, he is saying that he wants to federally reinstate Roe v. Wade at the federal level. He is saying that. That's the carrot he's dangling for voting for him.
The thing is, I'm going to take back what I just said. Joe Biden is the perfect Democratic messenger on this issue, because what do the Democrats believe, if not that the most honest thing you can do is precisely the opposite of what you actually believe?
Yeah,
like,
yes.
The mark of Joe Biden's sincerity to a Joe Biden supporter is the fact that his support for abortion is utterly insincere. It's like, that's how you know that he really means it, because he doesn't actually believe in it, but he knows that that's what you're supposed to say if you're a Democrat.
Yeah, and also like there's another thing with Democrats where like the most virtuous thing you can do is the opposite of what you're supposed to believe in. If it's a difficult choice, like i.e. Israel, they're like, no, he hates killing all these people. But you understand because it's so difficult. It would be easy just to say no, I'm against that, but that's what people expect of him, and it would be too easy to do that. It wouldn't be morally serious or complicated if he took a stand different from the one he had on, let's say, Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, right. It's so agonizing to do. It's so agonizing to do the thing that I wanted to do anyway, but shouldn't have wanted to do, but said that I didn't want to do, but I'm doing
Yeah.
anyway. That's the campaign slogan.
That'll sound great in an ad.